Hello. Our next speaker is Professor IL24 Kaur, an eminent scientist from Department of Botanical and Environmental Sciences, Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar. Her areas of interest are plant sciences, cancer, chemoprevention, genetic toxicology, natural plant products, etc. And she was the head of the department and chairperson of the member of Board of Control, then chairperson, member of Board of Studies. And she was also a faculty advisor, and she is the executive committee member of Environmental Mutagen Society of India, and she is a direct member of Indian Association for Cancer Research, and she was awarded the DST Boyd Crest Fellowship and the DPT Crest Fellowship, and she has a total publications of 136, citations more than 3,000, and H-index more than 30. So I would like to invite Professor IL24 Kaur for that talk.
Thank you, Dr. Ajay, for the nice introduction. So at the outside, I would like to thank the organizer, the patron, Professor Bharat Agarwal, and Alok and Anita, those who have, the organizers, those who have made great efforts to make this conference INCD 22 a great success. So we are running parallel sessions, so that speaks of the great success of this conference. So I have been associated with INCD 22 since its inception. So I am here before you to just share with one of the research here. So as now this, since yesterday we are all discussing about, so here I would just like to say the importance of cancer chemoprevention. So as the use of natural plant products, they play a key role. So it is better to prevent than control. So of course once it is there, we have to do the steps, but as again it's very slow. Yeah. So chemo, the treatment as such, the surgery and the chemotherapy, so it has many side effects that you can see, the fatigue, the toxicity, and the nausea and the hair loss. So here where the, so just to avoid, so nowadays we are also combining those chemotherapeutic, the medicine along with the natural products, and that has become more effective. So we worked on a plant, Onosoma bracteata. So it's running one slide ahead, slow. Yeah. So this is the plant bracteata. This is also called as Gauzaban, and it is at the northwestern Himalayas. It's there in Kashmir, and it is belonging to the family Boraginaceae. So it has, this is our modern plant. So this was, not many studies have been conducted on this species. So here then we, when we researched the literature, so it showed the Onsoma species as such showed many of the medicinal properties. It's showing anti-ulcer, anti-thrombotic, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, wound healing properties. So we were interested just to pursue further, and so it has many compounds on somens especially. Then we have others, naphthalenones. So there, yeah. So this is the extraction. We try to isolate various phytochemicals from this. So we had the extraction by in the order of the increasing polarity. So we got extracted with ethanol, then hexane, and then we went over to the last fraction with butanol, and then we had the remaining active fraction. So then we were testing the various properties, how it is there. So all the fractions, they were tested with so we were doing some antioxidant studies. So out of the list of all these, we just found here, which I have highlighted here, this is the ethyl acetate fraction, which is showing the IC50. So it is potent over here. So we took this fraction further, this OBA fraction. Further, there is another study, the anti-mutagen. We wanted also to see, because mutations are related to the cancer. So it's one of the consequences. So we did some plasmid nicking assay on these extracts. So where we were clearly seeing that the Fenton reagent, so it is showing the genoprotective effect. So although the effect was varying, but all these fractions were showing the effect. So this is the OBA fraction. Now we were interested to further see what is in it. So then we performed the various phytochemical analysis of this. Yeah. So this is one of the anti-mutagenic studies where against we are using the Salmonella typhimurium, and we tested it against the direct acting mutagens, NPD, and also S9 dependent 2-minofluorine. So here we are also seeing the OBA fraction to be much more active than the others. This is another study in another tester strain. This is TA100 tester strain of Salmonella typhimurium, and it is base pair substitution mutation tester strain. The other was the frame shift. So here again we are seeing the more activity in OBA fraction. Now looking at the phenolic content and total flavonoid content. So this speaks that this OBA fraction is rich in phenolics and flavonoids. So then we did HPLC, and we could recognize the presence of catechins in OBA fraction, and in here there was there's one of the fraction, the mother extract, which is the obit, ethanol. So it is having apicatechin. So the blue one down below. So this is the HPLC analysis of these fractions. Okay. Then we concentrated on the OBA fraction. So then we went in for column chromatography. Yeah, so this is how we did it. So the fraction, we got many fractions from that hexane ethyl acetate, and this is the OB4 fraction which is there. And then it was further purified, and at the end we are getting OBD1 fraction, which is a pure one. And we did it, yeah. So this is where we tested what this OBD1 is. So this is, it's showing a single spot on the TLC, and then we did the NMR studies and the mass spectroscopic studies, and then we could get this molecule which is 1,2-benzene dicarboxylic acid bis 2-methyl propyl ester. So this is the one we got. And the single compound in here. So this is the first report from this plant, and And we did some then further concentrated on this anti-proliferative studies. We used these 3 cell lines, and again we are finding some good observations where the OBF fraction worked best against MG60. This is osteosarcoma cell line, and the fraction which we isolated from OBR, that is OBD1. So it is again more potent, showing this GI50 value as 37.53 here. Then also it is showing selectivity index, much more higher selectivity index in OBD1 against MG63. Now we went to for mechanistic studies, how this is, so this is the morphological study where the phase contrast microscope, this is the OBR fraction. We are running side by side, so different GI30, GI50, GI70. This is in comparison to the untreated cells. This is the OBD1, which was isolated at its GI50 concentration. Now this is the DAPI, where it is showing some nuclear fragmentation and condensation under the confocal microscope. This is 40x. Now this is the OBD1. So clearly as 100x we could see the fragmentation and condensation here in this case. So same studies, OBR fraction, a different how it is this is showing the rounding of the cells and the nuclear blebbing and formation of these apoptotic bodies. Understand? So this is the isolated OBD1 fraction. Understand? So clearly showing the formation of going for apoptosis. So this we also used this just to see. This is acridine originating bromide staining, where we are seeing the going in for the apoptosis. Here this is OBD1 fraction. We are seeing the early apoptosis, and this is again now where we are seeing the MMP disruption. This rhodamine 1, 2, 3. It is leaching out when the cells are going in for apoptosis. This is with OBD1, the isolated fraction from this extract. This is an MG63 cells. Some flow cytometric studies were also done. So wherein we are finding the ROS generation with the increase in the concentrations. This is released and it's moving. So this is again ROS detection. We could see out in OBD1 fraction. Again, the MMP potential. There is a disruption of the mitochondrial membrane disruption, and here we are showing the M1, which is the normal cells with the disruption, and M2 are the intact cells. So we are seeing it there increase. This is with OBD1. Now here the cells were found to be arrested in G0, G1 phase. So you can see very clearly the cells are being arrested, the big peak, and OBD1. Then we also did an XN5 FITC PI staining, where we are seeing the cells in the apoptosis going in for, you can see in all these quadrants with the increase, they are moving towards the apoptosis. This is with OBD1. So we also did cell migration. So this is with the OBR fraction. So you can very clearly see the inhibition of migration of MG63 cells. This is with the OBD1. Then we did RT-qPCR. This is the OBA fraction from which we isolated OBD1. So here we are seeing the enhancement of the P53 and decrease of BCL2, mortalin, and also the decrease in cyclin E, CDK2. So OBD1, we could see very well the enhancement of the caspases. We hear caspase 3. So decrease of the anti-apoptotic proteins, and also there is a decrease in cyclin E and CDK2. So Western blotting studies were also done. So this is with the OBA fraction. So we could see very clearly enhancement in P53, caspases, decrease in BCL-XL, and these anti-inflammatory proteins that were decreased, decrease in PAKT, and enhancement of GSK3 beta. So this is with the OBD1, very clearly they are anti-inflammatory, and they are also moving towards the apoptosis. So this is the paper which was published in Environmental Science and Pollution Research. And then the compound that we isolated, so this was published in Molecules very recently. So then also we did some hepatoprotective activity studies. Now this time we are doing in OBID fraction. That was the mother extract from which all those fractions were isolated, and it's rich in apicatogen. The more is the concentration. So this is we did it on male blister rats, and this was against the hepatotoxicity being induced by carbon tetrachloride.
Can you wind up in 2 minutes?
Yeah, okay. So this is the study, and we could see some the serum parameters being modulated, and there were the modulation of oxidative stress parameters. So we did some this histopathological studies. They were showing clear indications of the protective effect of the OBA from this on Soma dactyliata. This is where we had just seen about the cyclin D and P53, and we could see the modulation of these proteins. We did some Western also here. So this was published in Frontiers in Pharmacology. So this is the mechanism we proposed for this. And this is my team which is working with me, and 4 of them are here, 5 of them rather are here. So this work which I am presenting here is of Ajay Kumar. So he recently has finished with his PhD and is working with the Punjab biotechnological incubator, and it's doing good work. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Kaur, for your wonderful talk. So we can have 2 quick questions. When you commercialize that name,